Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by the Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Today, we have two more GM candidates for the Detroit Lions. We have some Lions news and rumors in the segment that we have today. All this and your comments, question of the day, and dessert with Curt. That's all coming up, but speak of the devil, well, he's not. My partner in crime, Curt Steele.
Hey, what up, dude? Welcome to the show, family. You know what we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. And join the family. Subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you know when you're getting fresh content from us right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Comment on the videos. Answer the question of the day. Share the videos. All of these things help us get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. And let's get this thing started
right now.
Welcome back to the show, family. You know what it's time to do. Let's get at these comment cards. Jim, you up first.
Yeah, Ryan Samurai. I think that's how he's trying to pronounce that. Not sure. I liked Tracy last season, but I'm over it. Tear this mother to the studs, and that includes Matthew Stafford. Man, the hate train for Matthew Stafford is amazing. Okay, I get it with Tracy Walker. I think he's going to bounce back, but I don't know. I don't understand it. That's going to be a show. Probably tomorrow's show will be Matthew Stafford, and we're going to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, all of that for you, and break it all down just like we do here on Lions on the Prowl.
All right, next up, we got Mark Simpson. What up, Mark? All right. Darrell Bevell has the players playing the best they have in 3 years. Not sure if he stays on, but I think he's doing a great job. I think he has the team playing better as well, and with the limited amount of personnel he has in some positions, especially on a defensive side of the ball. I think Darrell Bevell is doing an excellent job as the interim head coach.
I do too. I think the team looks pretty good. I think that they are responding under him. Or they're responding because Patricia's gone. You have to keep that in mind.
one or the other. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Joshua Singer. Matt Stafford couldn't lead a pack of ants to a piece of candy. I disagree with you 100%. We kind of talked a little about it in the comments. And just for you and some of the other Matthew Stafford haters out there, we are going to do a show about Matthew Stafford tomorrow. So
tune in.
You want to leave more comments about him? That would be great. That way we can put them up here when we do that show. That would be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Friend of the show, Mortal Films. What up, Mortal? Hey, proud of the guys, Bob Quinn, with all these slow players on defense, especially up front, shaking my head.
I'm shaking my head right with you.
Turtle Tavai, as Jim affectionately calls him. Team speed was not a priority under Bob Quinn.
No.
It is what it is. We got a lot of slow players. We got to revamp especially the skill positions to get some speedier guys out there.
I had to put this comment in here because I really disagreed with this guy. So let me just go back and I did some research. So Michael Brantz, Herm Edwards is head coach. I didn't like the idea. I thought he'd been out of football for quite a while and all this. He only had a 39-41 record, including a 2-3 playoff record. His last year he was a 5-15 team, but he's been at the University of Arizona, and
Arizona State. Yeah.
Doing Arizona State.
Yeah, the Sun Devils.
And I actually like Herm Edwards a little bit. I thought he was just a little out of touch with the NFL. What do you think about that? It was something that just popped up, and I thought, I'm not sure about this. What do you think, Curt?
I like Herm. Herm's, he's good. You play to win the game. That was one of his famous comments.
Yes.
Hello. I've always liked his fire as a coach. Is he the right job for the Lions? Person for the Lions job? Not sure. I think he's building something down out there in Arizona. So I'm not sure if he entertains coming back to the league.
I don't know, but the fact that he's building something from the ground up to me says that's kind of the same thing we're doing here.
Yeah,
but
that's
that
true.
would be more of a GM issue and not a coach.
He's an older coach. He's getting a little. I just think that he fits out there at Arizona State right now. I don't know if he has that mindset to come back to the league, and that's just a conjecture on my part. He could be like, oh yeah, let's go and be ready to come back to the NFL. But I just think that he looks happy out there in Arizona. That's just me. He does an excellent job out there. He coaches Ryan Clark's son from ESPN, the former defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Washington Redskins. He coaches his son out there. So I think he does an excellent job with those young men out there at Arizona State and the Sun Devils. So I just think that he is going to pretty much stay put. That's one name I don't hear a lot of buzz about coming back to the league.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. But that's a good comment there, Michael Brands. That's an excellent take. He is a pretty good coach. I do like Herm Edwards. All right, last up, friend of the show as well, King East J. What up, Big King? All right, thanks for clarifying about Rod Wood today. I was thinking along the same lines about his role with the Lions. Hopefully, Tracy Walker can regroup and be a good contributor to our defense in the future. Keep bossing up. Curt and Jim, we got to do that,
I just
man.
killed
Got
this
to
thing.
boss up, man. Hey, King, you know what? Ron Wood, just me. I don't think Rod Wood has done a bad job at the Lions. Like I've said before, you look at some of the things that he's done since he's been the president of the team, the improvements to Ford Field, just when we get the fans back, having the cheerleaders there at Ford Field, the concessions, just the overall, like the things that he's done inside Ford Field, the video boards and making sure that like the connectivity,
the fan experience,
the fan experience at Ford Field is great under Rod Wood. So I think he's handling the business side of the Lions very well.
I agree with that. And I know he's not I know everybody keeps saying that he's involved with Sheila in this search for, and he kind of is. And I don't think it's really his.
Nah, he's not a football guy.
He's not the football guy. I don't think that's what he's doing. But of course, we also have Mike Dinsner in there too. Yeah, and he has a lot of experience, so that's all right. I think we're going to be fine on this.
I think so too.
We're going to go to the Detroit Lions News and Rumors, which is your home for the news and rumors here at Detroit Lions on the Prowl. Report, Detroit Lions GM search garnering widespread interest. Now, this is very important because if we have a lot of people interested in the GM job, that would be great. And the reason is because a lot of people don't want to come here. Yeah. There's been people that turned it down before. So I think this is very interesting. This is from Pride of Detroit. I think it is. I think it's from Pride of Detroit.
POD.
And Dave Burkett also commented a lot on this as well. So I want to give him credit too.
Dave.
Next item up for bids, Earnie Ecorse is not involved in the GM search. It was reported that he was, but Dave Burkett from the Detroit Free Press has told everyone doesn't know where that's coming from. He is not involved in the GM search. Thank the Lord.
after the last time, we don't need him involved at all.
Speaking of the last time when he was helping us, quote unquote, there were only 3 interviewed candidates for the job. 3.
Ooh.
What an extensive search that was.
Yeah, that's
Bob Quinn, Kevin Abrams, and the Lions' interim GM at the time, Sheldon White.
I remember Sheldon White, yeah.
There were also reportedly some candidates that turned down interviews at that time. So it looks like it's a much better place to be right now than it was back then.
Yeah.
So changing gears a little bit, we had touched on Matthew Stafford a little bit before. He has a rib injury. His x-rays were negative. He does not have a break in those ribs, but it is said to be extremely painful. And his teammate says he's like an Iron Man. He is so tough. And I've seen this throughout his career.
Yeah.
You know,
I think sometimes at the detriment to himself that he plays when he's injured. And I think that, that's one thing that worries me, that if he doesn't sit on the shelf for some time, even if it's for the rest of the season, he's going to, in fact, put himself in harm's way where he can get injured even worse to those ribs.
I totally agree with you there. For everybody who wants to run him out of town, he gives 100% to this team. He may not be perfect, and he may not throw every ball perfect with a torn ligament in his thumb, but hey,
even it goes back to his rookie season. Shoulder out of socket on his non-throwing arm, and he comes back into the game and throws the game-winning touchdown against the Browns. You cannot ask for a tougher candidate for your quarterback position than Matthew Stafford.
I totally agree with you. And we're going to go into the main course right now. And the main course today is Daniel Jeremiah and Mike Borgonzi. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do Mike, and then we're going to let Curt do Daniel Jeremiah. So this may not be a name you're familiar with. Mike Borgonzi is in Kansas City right now. He's the director of football operations in the Kansas City Chiefs. He's learned under Scott Pioli, who is one of the best GMs in the league.
Yeah, he is.
He's very, very good. He went to Brown College. His wife is Jill. He has a son named Joseph, a daughter named Nina. Now, why is he impressive? He's been with Kansas City for quite a long time now, since 2009. So holy cow, quite a long time. He was the college scouting administrator, the manager of football operations, pro personnel scout since in 2011 and 12, assistant director of pro scouting in 2013 and 14, co-director of player personnel in 15 and 16, in 17, director of player personnel, and then he gets to be the director of football operations in 18 and 19. Here is one of the reasons that I really want this pick. Because Rod Wood doesn't know much about the football side of operations, okay? And this would be a good hire because he has a lot of scouting experience. He's done well with drafts. He's and he has a knowledge of football operations. So that really, really helps for me. Borgonzi's a talent evaluator at heart. That's what he does. He's an experienced scout. He's helped lead some impressive Chiefs drafts. He has tremendous success with their first-round picks: Eric Berry in 2010, Dontari Poe in 2012, Eric Fisher 2013, Dee Ford 2014, Marcus Peters in 2015, 2017, some no-name paying Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know who that guy is. Who's that guy?
I have no idea. 2020, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the outstanding running back. But he's really, really good. He's hitting on not just the first round picks, but the mid to late round picks too. He got Rodney Hudson, Justin Houston, Alan Bailey, and he was a fourth round pick. All played 125 plus games. So that was really, really cool.
Wow.
That he's getting the talent from different parts of the draft. They stole Travis Kelce in the third round as a tight end. That's some guy that I've never heard of before. 2014, they found O-line starters in Zach Fulton and Laurent Duvernay. I don't know who he is, so I'm sorry. Maybe somebody does. 2015, they found some nice role players with Mitch Morse, the center, in the second round. Chris Connolly, wide receiver, in the third round. Steve Nelson, a cornerback, in the third. And they showed a willingness to take on some guys with character concerns and prospered with Chris Jones at defensive tackle. That's some guy that we wanted. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, some wide receiver I've never heard of, in the sixth round. Found that same sentiment in 2017 with Kareem Hunt in the third round. So I'm telling you, I like a lot of the draft picks that he's been associated with.
Has some great talent evaluation. Some of those players are
Plus
I mean,
the director of football operations things. I think he could help
yeah.
our organization, the way it's structured, really, really well. He has a vast amount of experience, but not at GM. So that it would be his first GM stint. But I like his overall thing. So I think he would be pretty good for the Lions. I think this would be somebody, if we hired him, I'd be fairly comfortable with him. What do you think on Mike?
I like looking at his resume. It's very good. I mean, he has an accomplished talent evaluator. He can bring in some good players to the team if he can do that for the Lions. I mean, we're going to need a really big chunk of our roster turned over. I won't say completely overhauled, but a big chunk of it needs to be redone. And I think that if we have a guy with a football mind like Mike, I think he can help turn this team around.
I agree. One more thing about him that I like is he's not afraid to take somebody with a little bit of a character concern. I think that's been a problem here because we don't get talent because we got to get the safe guy, you know?
Yeah, the captain of the team and the guy who does everything right. The last time we had a guy with a and it wasn't a character issue off the field, it was on the field, and that was Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah. Yeah. And
because he's a good guy off the field. He's just on the field. He just has that nasty mentality.
And I think every other team takes flyers on some people, and those teams are successful. Like New England, we talk about Kansas City and stuff like that. We have to have some people that come in here and can really evaluate a guy.
And then you can bring them in, and then you can make them part of the organization, and then help fix those character issues. That's the one thing that you can do. I mean, sometimes it just takes the right person looking out for someone to help them go ahead and go further in their career and then stop that behavior.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Daniel Jeremiah.
Daniel Jeremiah, 43 years old, went to school at Appalachian State, former scout for 3 different NFL teams. Most people know him as his current role as a analyst over at NFL Network. Most recently, he scouted for the Philadelphia Eagles from 2010 to 2012. Previously worked as the West Coast scout for the Browns in 2007 to 2008. West Coast scout for the Ravens from 2005 to 2006. And he initially joined the league as a personnel assistant from 2004 to 2003 with the Ravens as well. 2003, 2004. Graduated from Appalachian State in 2000. He started as a quarterback for the Aggies of Appalachian State for 3 seasons. And that's in my neck of the woods down here in North Carolina. It is widely speculated that Jeremiah, an offensive guru turned Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady, could be a package deal this offseason. Now, here's where the Lions, or most people who look at Daniel Jeremiah, want to catch lightning in a bottle. They look at the job that Mike Mayock is doing out there in Las Vegas as a talent evaluator. So they're looking at these, some of these TV analysts that evaluate talent for a living to say, hey, let's look at this guy. Maybe he can do the same thing Mayock's doing out there for the Raiders. Now, I will say this. With him, he does have talent evaluation background. He's not just an analyst. He was a scout. So he knows how to go out and look at players. Young guy, he may be the new hot young thing out there. Am I convinced that he can do the same thing that Mike Mayock does out there in Las Vegas? Not particularly, just because of the fact that look how long Mike Mayock was doing that before he got a GM job. Like Mike Mayock was that draft analyst and that personnel analyst for NFL Network for years before he got a GM position. So it's not quite the same over there with Daniel Jeremiah, but he could be the fresh, hot young thing that can help rebuild a team. So he's going to garner some looks. I'm just not sure he's the right guy in Detroit. I think that the Lions, if you look at the comments from Sheila Forham, they want someone who's an experienced person coming in, taking over these key roles in the leadership of the team. What do you think about Daniel Jeremiah?
I'm a hard no on Daniel Jeremiah. I think that there's so many candidates with better, just more experience, but just more appealing to the Lions. Rick Smith, isn't that somebody they just are starting to interview, or they have interviewed?
Yeah, he'll be interviewing.
I think he's 10 times better than him. I love him as a
Yeah.
GM. I think that Ed Dodds is a lot better. I think that there's just a bunch of people out there that I think even the guy we did today, Mike Borgonzi, I think has so much more experience and I think has actually done it where he has done drafts and stuff like that. I just don't I don't think that while he's had some experience, I don't see it where he's been a scout. You know, he was a national scout for the Browns, but that's 2007, 2008. How much has changed in those 20-some years?
Now he does. Now, the only caveat to that, he does do talent evaluation for the NFL Network for their mock drafts every year. So he does have a hand of looking at talent throughout the college ranks. So he does do that every year, but it's still not the same as the hands-on experience of being an actual general manager and doing actual drafts in the war room during draft days. So it's a little bit different. Would I say that I want him in Detroit? Now I'm a little bit like you. I have to agree. I'm a hard pass on Daniel Jeremiah. He will make a interesting candidate going forward for some team, but I don't think we want him here in the Motown.
I don't either. I think he likes Detroit. I know when he comments on there, he's always got seems to have something decently good to say about them and everything, but I just don't know. I'm not there with him. I'm just not. Okay, next up is going to be our question of the day. Today, the question of the day is, do either of these candidates interest you? Who do you want as the next Detroit Lions GM? So out of everybody that we've kind of previewed so far, or if it's somebody off our radar, who do you want to be the next GM? Please put that in the comments below. And now we're going to go to my favorite segment, Dessert with Curt.
All right. Hello, everyone. You know what it is. It's time to get these tasty, tasty morsels right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl with the Dessert with Curt. And Matthew Stafford, speaking of Matthew Stafford, he was second overall in the league in PFF as a quarterback rating for the PFF scores, had a 89.6, which is even higher than the guy he played against. So he was second with 89.6. He was the number one player on the Lions for the second straight week, and it happened to come after Quinn Trisha left. So Matthew Stafford getting it done, performing on the field. I know PFF isn't the end-all be-all, but it is a good tool to evaluate how players are doing on the field. So he had an elite score for quarterbacks this week, 89.6, and second amongst quarterbacks, and second straight week as the Lions' number one PFF rated player.
Man, that's really good. And we're going to have a Matthew Stafford video tomorrow. I think it's overdue, so we're going to go and delve into the enigma that is Matthew Stafford. Hey, I want to thank you guys, and I want to point out somebody in particular. Thank you, Dr. Detroit, for our first super chat. I really appreciate it. You can drop your super chats in the premieres. So when we have our premieres, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, make sure you drop your super chats in there, or just have a good time and talk with us out there when the video is playing. It's a pretty fun time, and we do have a lot of people that come in and comment, and we comment back and have a good time there. So with that, I just, like I said, appreciate each and every one of you rocking with us, and yeah, it's been a wonderful experience so far, and we're moving on to some really big things coming up in 2021. I can't really talk about them yet, but we're going to get to that point really, really soon. And now to take us home, I'm going to go to Curt. I'm tongue-tied.
Hey.
I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, you know what it is. You know what we are. We are Detroit Lions on the Prowl, your home for Detroit Lions news and rumors. You know what? Join the family. Subscribe to the channel. Like the videos. Comment on the videos. Share them. Answer the questions of the day, because all that does is get us more Lions content to fans just like yourself. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone in the chat yesterday who sent me congratulations on the birth of my second grandchild, Spencer Olivia. She is so beautiful. I can't wait till this COVID thing is over so I can hug and kiss on my newest grandbaby. She is such a wonderful joy to behold. And you know what you got to do. Whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. From my man Jim, right here on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, this is Curt Steele, and we will holler at you real soon.